Today you'll be completing Core Bite 21. Number 1, you do not need a hint for that one. We've talked about these numerous times. So if you will pause your video, complete the problem, and write your answer to number 1 in that blank. Now that you have answered number 1, let's go ahead and check your answer. The question was, what is the ratio of kittens to dogs? Notice that kittens is mentioned first in that question, which means when we write our answer, we would need to write the number of kittens, which is 7, to the number of dogs, which is 12. So the correct answer is B. Make sure you have the correct answer in the blank. Number 2 is asking you to find the opposite of 0. So opposite numbers on a number line would be 1 and -1 are opposites because they are the same distance away from 0. 5 and -5 are opposites of each other because they are the same distance away from 0. So I want you to think about what I just said, and then I want you to pause the video and put your answer for number 2 in that blank. Hopefully you said that 0 has no opposite. If you'll notice on the number line, 0 is in the middle and it separates the positive numbers from the negatives. So because opposite numbers have to be the same distance away from 0, 0 is that number that we look for distance. So it does not have an opposite. Okay, let's look at number 3. For number 3, you are finding the area of this triangle using that formula. Look at that formula carefully. B is going to stand for base. H stands for height. And when you see those letters written next to each other with no other symbol between them, that means to multiply. So that part of the formula means base times height. Then you'll notice that it is written over a division, or it is written as a fraction, which means to divide by 2. So this formula means base times height divided by 2. I want you to pause your video and write down what the formula means. Okay, now that you've written down the formula, let's look at the triangle and pick out the length of the base. The base is going to be this small side, so I'm going to put a B for base, and then the height of the triangle is going to be the distance from that base to the opposite vertex right here, and it also forms a 90-degree angle. So your base is 2 and your height is going to be 1, 2, 3 units. Your base was 2 units. The height, this side going up, is 3. So pause your video, plug in those numbers, and find the area of the triangle, and then write your answer there. Hopefully you said that the area of that triangle was 3 square units, because if you take the base, which is 2, and you multiply it by the height, which is 3, you get 6, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. If you missed that one, make sure you understand why, and make sure you have the correct answer as well. Number 4 is asking for a true-false answer to this statement. When conducting a survey, a good sample of people to ask the question is those that have been randomly selected. So let's say we were doing a survey on favorite food. If we went and we only asked the band students, those students would not be randomly selected because we're only choosing from one group of students. However, if we stood at the cafeteria and we asked every 5th student that walked in, we really have no control over those, so that would be a random sample. This is saying that the best sample of people to use for a survey are those that are selected randomly. So pause your video and write what you think the answer to number 4 is in that blank. Okay, the correct answer to number 4 is true. Anytime you're conducting a survey, you want to make sure that the sample of people that you ask that question to, that they are randomly selected. Again, going back to what I said just a moment ago, you would not want to ask just a group of band students or just a group of dance students. Those are not randomly selected. When you do a survey, you're wanting to make sure that the entire population is represented. And the best way to get the entire population to be represented is through a random sample. Make sure that all of your Corebite sheet is complete and that you wrote down any notes and information that I instructed you to.